So Luke, you've just launched a new business. It's called WildBase. Why don't you tell us what it's all about?
Yeah, definitely. WildBase is here to help people live a little bit more adventurously. With the right planning, the right preparation, adventure is very, very accessible. And WildBase is here to try and help people understand that, have adventures big and small, close to home, far away, whatever it might be.
And what's the background behind it? Where did the idea come from?
Yeah, so it's quite simple really. Over the past few years, I've been on a number of adventures myself. Some of them have been pretty big, life-changing events. Others have been quite small, things close to home that have really resonated with me. There are 3 trips in particular that have had a lasting impression, have left a lasting impression on my life. I've created some really great memories and some great experiences. The first of which was cycling Land's End to John O'Groats with a close friend called Andy. We cycled from Land's End to John O'Groats on road bikes in just over 3 days, and it was a real case of just head down, cycle as hard as we could. And it taught me that was quite a miserable, tough endurance challenge. We then flipped it and went from John O'Groats to Land's End, and what I would call like a proper self-designed adventure. We took mountain bikes from John O'Groats, cycled to Inverness, then took kayaks across the Caledonian Canal, out towards Ben Nevis, and then mountain bike down to Land's End. A proper great adventure, something we dreamed up ourselves, and went ahead and did it. The second adventure that was memorable for me was a couple of years ago up in the Lake District in the UK. It was called Up, Down and Around. So with my wife Claire and my dog Miko, we climbed the 10 highest peaks in the lakes. We circled a lap of the 10 biggest lakes, and each of those peaks and each of those lakes we were carrying awkward heavy objects, car tyres, sledgehammers, sandbags, you name it, something heavy, something awkward, and it was good fun. It was just a doorstep adventure, very little preparation, getting outside and having fun. And then the third adventure that really stuck with me was probably the biggest thing I've done to date, and that was rowing in the Atlantic Ocean with a close friend Alex. We spent 84 days at sea 10 years ago or so now, and by far and away the most life-changing experience of my life. But the thing that's common with all 3 of those adventures is that I had no prior experience in long-distance cycling, in ocean rowing, or in carrying heavy objects up and down mountains in the Lake District. But with the right planning and the right preparation, I was able to do all 3 of those adventures, plus many other things that I've done along the way. And that got me thinking there must be a way of helping people live more adventurously, and that's where WildBase was born.
And what does WildBase actually offer?
WildBase it offers a few things. It's a platform effectively to pull together a community of like-minded people who want to go on adventures. We have a great blog, we have an inspirational podcast with some really, really great guests. And then in terms of the products we offer, we have how-to guides, so how to conquer your adventure. The early guidebooks we have on the website are how to run your first ultramarathon, how to go on an adventure with a wike. And for those of you who don't know what a wike is, go look it up. It's a very cool land sailing bit of kit. We have how-to guides around mountaineering, around ocean rowing, and more will be coming. And we've recently just launched WildBase 360. WildBase 360 adventure preparation weekends. These are 3-day weekends set in Spain. We cover the physical preparation needed to go on an adventure, the nutrition, the mindset of adventure, but also around adventure planning and preparation, looking at logistics, sponsorship, building a personal brand to help you get the funding you might need for adventure. But I would say above all else, we're looking to grow it into a great community of like-minded people, help people live a little bit more adventurously.
And who are you working with? Are you doing this by yourself? Have you got people with you?
No, we've got a great team. So Andrew Weaver is my co-founder. This time last year, Andrew and I met on a business startup. I took part in a startup accelerator called Escape the City, and Andrew was one of the mentors, one of the lecturers during the program. We bonded over a few pints of Guinness, a couple of glasses of Malbec, and we had a real common idea that let's try and grow WildBase. So that was this time last year, and over the last 12 months or so, we've been really growing the business. We're on a bit of a journey, and we're hoping that 2020 is the year where we help 1,000 people go on a great adventure.
What is next then? What does 2020 hold?
We want to spread awareness. We want to get the message out there, get people out and about doing their own trips, big and small. We want people to go on our WildBase 360 weekends. People sign up to our newsletter, check out our podcast. We've had some great guests. Off the top of my head, James Ketchell, world record holder, cycled around the world twice. He's rowed numerous oceans. He's climbed Mount Everest. He's taken a gyrocopter around the world. There's nothing that man hasn't done, so check out that. We've had Fiona Quinn. She's a world record holder as well. She's taken a stand-up paddleboard the length of Britain. Phenomenal story. Joe Bars, who took a wike from the base of South America up to Aconcagua in Chile. We've had Fred Newton, who's recently completed the Spine race, one of the toughest ultra races going in the UK. And he's done a great podcast with us about local adventure and how do you find adventure close to home. We've got another podcast with the Trail Sisters, two girls from Australia who are into ultra running. And the final podcast is with me talking about rowing the Atlantic. So check those out. But throughout 2020, there'll be plenty of other guests. So please check us out.
Sounds awesome, and best of luck.
Thanks very much.